Something massive just happened in the Canadian housing market, and it's going to change the game for buyers across the country. The federal government has officially moved forward with legislation that could hand certain buyers up to $50,000 when purchasing a home. This isn't a small tweak. This is a major shift in the financial landscape of real estate. And if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for a sign of life, this might feel like the starting gun going off. But while the headlines are celebrating the savings for home buyers, I see something else. I see a ticking time bomb that most people are completely ignoring. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what changed, who benefits, and more importantly, who might get hurt. And we're also going to revisit a warning that I made about this on this channel about 11 months ago that is looking very real right now. So if that sounds good, let's get into it right now. Only get one chance to buy or sell your next home. Let's get it right. Hey, worth mentioning, my name's Darren. I'm a real estate professional based right here in the White Rock and South Surrey area. And I've been helping families just like yours buy and sell homes here all the way back to 2007. And since then, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people over the years, many of whom found me right here on this very YouTube channel. So if you're thinking about making a move and want some smart local advice, zero pressure, just real insight, there's a link in the description of this video to book a time to speak with me or my team. And together, we'll help you make the right move with confidence. Okay, so here's what just happened. Bill C-4, the Making Life More Affordable for Canadians Act, has officially received royal assent, which means that it is now law that the 5% GST on brand new construction homes is eliminated for first-time buyers on properties up to $1 million with a partial rebate up to $1.5 million. That's a big deal. And it gets even better for buyers. This is backdated to March of last year, and the CRA can now start processing those rebate claims. So on the surface, this looks like exactly what the market needs. I mean, it is great news, but just like everything, here's the problem. About 11 months ago, I warned that this exact policy could create a ticking time bomb in the BC real estate market. Because while everyone's focused on the savings for home buyers, this changes the competitive landscape between new construction and resale overnight. And resale sellers are the ones who are about to feel it. I want you to think about this. If you're buying a brand new $1 million townhome in Clayton, this announcement just saved you $50,000 in GST. That's not small money. That's life-changing money for a lot of people. But if you're trying to sell a newer home, say 1 to 5 years old, in that exact same neighborhood, you've now got a problem. The problem is, how do you compete with a nearly identical home down the street that now has massive government-backed advantages? I'm going to explain this a little bit differently. Let's make this real a little bit. We've got two fictitious homes. For all intents and purposes, they're identical. Home one is a resale, about a year and a half old, listed at $950,000. Home number two is brand new construction, listed a little more expensive, let's say at $970,000. A buyer comes along and narrows it down to these two homes. On one hand, the resale is still very new. It's been lightly lived in and comes with the balance of the new home warranty. On the other hand, the brand new home is untouched. No one has lived in it. It's shiny, it's fresh, and it comes with the full warranty, but it's also $20,000 more expensive. So at first glance, this feels fairly even, but here's where everything changes. If the buyer chooses the resale, well, they're also paying about $17,000 in property transfer tax. If they choose the new construction, they pay zero property transfer tax. And if they qualify as a first-time buyer, they also pay zero GST. That same GST that used to be paid on that new construction, which incentivized buyers to go shop the resale market instead of going after the new construction market. So even though the new home is priced higher, the total cost is almost equivalent. So what does our fictitious buyer do? Well, they choose the new home almost every time. And that's the real issue. The problem isn't the buyer. The buyer wins here. The problem is the resale seller, especially anyone with a newer property. They have no way to compete with that kind of advantage, especially if they bought recently and already paid GST themselves. They're stuck. Meanwhile, the new construction side is effectively being subsidized, and that leaves the resale seller with one option. Before we touch on that option, however, if you're even thinking about buying a home, whether it's in the areas we serve of White Rock, Surrey, or surrounding municipalities, it could be anywhere in BC, you're going to want to be sure to grab a copy of our free PDF, 21 Grants and Rebates for Home Buyers. We pulled together every program we could find, federal, provincial, and even niche local ones, plus tips, links, and quick ways to save money that are often hard to find, buried, and made way too confusing. So we've sourced them out and put them into one single spot for you to take full advantage of. It's totally free and could save you thousands. So you can get it now by using the link below in the description of this video. Okay, so what is the option that the resale seller has had forced upon them? Well, adjust your price, and in many cases, adjust it significantly. Now, layer this on top. Newly built homes under $1.1 million in BC are already exempt from property transfer tax. So when you combine that with the GST removal, you're looking at a total advantage approaching $65,000 from anyone that bought before this might have come into play. The seller of the resale has to factor in the GST that they paid, and the buyer of that same home has to factor in the fact that they have to pay property transfer tax. That creates a kind of class system in real estate based purely on the age of the home, not the quality or the location. If you own a 1 to 5 year old home near active development, you're going to feel real downward pressure on your price. Now, here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. GST isn't the main reason developers aren't building. The real issue is the math. Construction costs in places like Surrey have jumped over 30%. Interest rates on development loans have more than doubled. So even with this tax break, a lot of projects still don't make sense financially. And on top of that, it takes years to bring new supply to the market. So yes, this does help buyers today. It's great, but it's not going to suddenly flood the market with homes. So here's the takeaway. GST relief is a win for buyers, no question. And it's great. It's going to prop up the new construction industry, but it does not solve the deeper issues that are keeping developers on the sidelines. But it also creates a new problem that sellers didn't have to experience previously. If you're a buyer looking at new construction in areas like Clayton or Grandview Heights, you're in a very strong position right now. But if you're a resale seller, especially with a newer home, you need to adjust your expectations and your pricing strategy quickly because this just changed the game. Now, there's no question that the market has been tough for sellers over the past year. And the big question is, well, does it get worse from here? Well, in the video coming up next, I'm going to give you a tool to help you cut through all of the noise, the headlines, the opinions, and the fear, so you can actually make smart decisions based on what's real. We're going to break down how the media and others cherry pick data to grab your attention and how to protect yourself from all of that. If that sounds useful, well, good news is that video is coming up next. The media is not here to help you understand the housing market. It's here to sell your attention to advertisers. That's why so many people get scared, confused, or overly excited by headlines that don't really apply to them.